Who's ready for who's ready for the word tonight? I am. I am ready to continue moving along in this great great book of the Bible. Ready to continue reading scripture and in this in this current book of the Bible. I embarrass myself while reading through it. um My name is Stuart Davis, flawed man of God, a humble parishioner at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. Not a pastor, not a biblical scholar, haven't been to seminary. Not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause, just here to talk about God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, talk about the Bible, Christianity, and a wide variety of different topics, issues, and current events, and give you my perspective on them, one that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. I've been a Christian all my life. 42 years, non-denominational Protestant. I don't subscribe to any particular doctrine or denomination. I'm just in the Word daily, trying to do it better each and every way, or each and every day. Sometimes I'll get it right. Other times I'll get it wrong. But no matter what, if you're listening to my voice, if you're catching this stream, you can count on getting my honest takes on whatever it is that we're discussing. So if you're somebody who is new to Christianity and somebody who is, right on the precipice, right on the edge, ready to make that next step, but you're hesitant, fearful, maybe. It's not an unusual feeling. It's a big step. It's the most important decision you'll ever make in your life is to accept Christ. Um, but part of what makes it so big is your salvation. The other hand is all the different influences that might be trying to get you to uh, convince you otherwise. Some are internal, some are external. You might be anxious, fearful, um, or worried that your faith, your trust that you're putting in this faith is going to be abused, taken advantage of. You're worried about being wrong. You're worried about what it means for you. And that's understandable. You might be seeing some outside factors as well, because we live in a world that wants you to think that believing in God makes you stupid, makes you judgmental, makes you selfish, makes you self-righteous and condescending, makes you hateful. Well, you need encouragement. If you need something to help you get past just that worry of how your life is going to change, and the fear that you might be wrong about it, let me tell you that I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. And it's not just me. It's the folks tuning into this stream. It's all of Christendom. We're all hoping for you. It's the heavenly host up there waiting to cheer and celebrate as you accept Christ as your Lord and Savior. Every soul is a victory. You matter. You matter just as much as anybody else that Christ got on that cross and died for. And with all these folks behind you, it's hard to feel alone. And even if we weren't here, you'd still have God. That's really all you need. If you are already a Christian and you just enjoy Christian topics and discussions, welcome as well. We run this very similar to a Wednesday night study group or a Sunday school. It's about small group. We are a small group. It's been particularly small for Song of Solomon. I'm hoping to get it back up, get folks back up into tuning in when Isaiah starts, because Song of Solomon, short book, not very flashy. Well, maybe more flashy than others, but it's not one of the big ones when people when people quote scripture, when people dive into scripture. It's important nonetheless. But either way, like you to get in the chat, talk about what we're reading, give your thoughts on things, and be part of the show. This chat is great and helps guide this show as well. We have a great group of folks who tune in and night out, and we'd love you to be part of that. So, with us being a small group, that means if you put something in that comment box, I'm going to read it and respond to it. And so, tell me what you agree with or disagree with. Where do you think I'm right? Where do you think I'm wrong? What unique insight, perspective, or experience do you have that perhaps we haven't discussed? Or maybe you want to add on to something somebody else said. Share your opinion. Ask questions. I can't pretend to answer the question, or I can't pretend that I'm going to have all the answers. Decent chance I'm not going to be able to answer your question. But we can at least talk about your question and maybe point you in the right direction. And with that said, how's everybody doing this evening? We're almost through the week. And hopefully I'm almost through this sinus congestion, which has been all daggone week. Headache. Ugh, it's awful. But I'll live. I'll get over it. Matt Felty, we were just talking about you a couple of days ago. How's it going? We hadn't seen you in a while. Good to see you make it back. Part of this is, again, me not streaming regularly and keeping people on the toes, I think. But good to see you here, sir. We are going to do 2 more chapters of Song of Solomon tonight. 2 chapters would have been a pretty good pace, and we'll probably continue that for the last 2 chapters, and then we'll have to see what our pace is for Isaiah, but we will be starting that again. Trying not to look too far ahead, and wishing that, because again, we don't do scripture justice when we're looking ahead for something else to read. Right. Yeah, Wednesday's a conflict, but missed other days last week and Tuesday. Well, Tuesday I wasn't here. Took the kids to see the Dog Man play. Last night I streamed. Monday I did stream. Glad to have you here, buddy. It's been a heck of a long week. I'm a little tired, but a lot of this is just drowsiness from being congested. Normally I would have taken the night off, but we don't. I'm not going to be streaming maybe at all next week, and I want to get this in. I want to get that work in. Right. This is a commitment I've made, one that I enjoy, a commitment that I enjoy, and so I like meeting that commitment as much as possible. So I'm going to power through it. So we have been in Song of Solomon. Matt, I don't know if you've caught any of the episodes yet. This is our 3rd or 4th. Hang on, let me look at this. 5, 6. We did 3 and 4. This is our 4th episode, Song of Solomon. It's been a bit of a challenge so far, but last night came together a little bit easier. Last night it was a little bit easier for me to read, and this is the kind of disclaimer I've said as we've been reading through here. I'm not good at poetry. I'm not good at reading through it. I'm a very literal person, and while I like to use flowery language, reading it for other people is difficult for me. So but that just means I need y'all's help. So we're going to go into 5. What we had talked about with Song of Solomon is that it's widely believed that this is a love song that Solomon wrote, trying to express the relationship between God and his believers, his people, right? Or the church might be a better be a better description of that. And so last night it was just kind of what he read was easier for me to kind of parse through. First two chapters though, whew, not easy. So let's see if I'm able to get through 5. Is it easy? Will it be easy? Will it be hard? Will it be somewhere in between? We'll find out right now because we're going to start reading New King James because it flows better this way. Sorry, excuse me. All right. The bride praises the bridegroom, the beloved. All right, so bridegroom, God. I have come to my garden, my sister, my spouse. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb with my honey. I have drunk my wine with my milk. And to his friends, eat, O friends, drink. Yes, drink deeply, O beloved ones. And then the Shulamite's troubled evening. So the princess bride's troubled evening. I sleep, but my heart is awake. It is the voice of my beloved. He knocks, saying, open for me, my sister, my love, my dove, my perfect one. For my head is covered with dew, my locks with the drops of the night. I have taken off my robe. How can I put it on again? I have washed my feet. How can I defile them? My beloved put his hand by the latch of the door, and my heart yearned for him. I arose to open for my beloved, and my hands dripped with myrrh, my fingers with liquid myrrh on the handles of the lock. I opened for my beloved, but my beloved had turned away and was gone. My heart leapt up when he spoke. I sought him, but I could not find him. I called him, but he gave me no answer. The watchmen who went about the city found me. They struck me, they wounded me. The keepers of the walls, they took my veil away from me. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, that you tell him, I am lovesick. And then the chorus of the daughters of Jerusalem. What is your beloved more than another beloved, O fairest among women? What is your beloved more than another beloved, that you so charge us? The bride, admiration. My beloved is white and ruddy, chief among 10,000. His head is like the finest gold. His locks are wavy and black as a raven. His eyes are like doves by the rivers of waters, washed with milk and fitly set. His cheeks are like a bed of spices. Banks of scented herbs. His lips are lilies, dripping liquid myrrh. His hands are rods of gold, set with beryl or burl. Set with burl? I think it's set with burl. His body is carved ivory, inlaid with sapphires. His legs are pillars of marble, set on bases of fine gold. His countenance is like Lebanon, excellent as the cedars. His mouth is most sweet. Yes, he is altogether lovely. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. Okay. Um so second time, because if I recall, I think in was it last week, I think, or the last chapter, I think it was actually chapter 3. We see a troubled night, right? And it kind of sounds very similar in chapter 5 where we're talking about a bad dream. She can't find God. Starts off, God's praising um kind of the situation. It sounds like, he's come to my, he's happy with things. He's got all these great things about him. and just inviting everybody to party and make merry. Emmanuel Osorio, long set of weeks. I'm going to have to catch up with everyone on stream. Glad you do this, Stu. Hey, thank you for glad you tune in. But yes, I'm glad I'm doing it as well. It's fun. It's one of those things where it can give me energy even when I'm tired. And I know this is I'm kind of being a little low energy right now. I know I can do better, but um, just pray for me. Um, so we see that it starts off pretty up tempo, pretty happy, pretty jolly, but then we go right into troubled evening. And that's kind of one of the things. This is really a roller coaster of emotions if we're going through um, even within chapters of this book. We have chapter 3 was another great example of that. Um, let's go over there real quick. I don't know why I'm sorting it the wild way. So troubled night, and then the coming of Solomon. It's like, oh, I had this, I had a really troubled night, and then all of a sudden, here's the arrival of Solomon, and everybody's like, oh, look, it's Solomon. So it's just very up and down. It's all over the place. Which, hey, with love, that can kind of drive you to those emotions. We've been there. Love brings out of us very strong swings of emotion. And so it is not surprising, really, that you'll see that in something dedicated with love. But what do we see but where is all the fluctuation coming from? From what I've gathered or what I've observed, what are we seeing from the bridegroom, God? Constant joy, right? Appreciation, blessings, showering blessings upon the bride. So what we see is constance or consistency and a constant, dependable disposition. And it's good, right? What we receive from that is good. It's something we want to be around. You would naturally gravitate to somebody like this. On the other hand, we see with the bride, which would be us, constant worry, anxiety mixed with overwhelming feelings of belonging and blessing and longing and all this other stuff. It's all mixed together, which is perhaps that defines a lot of our relationship with God and as we go throughout our days, or maybe in different times of our lives. But yeah, she goes, I sleep, but my heart is awake. And so she has this kind of a dream. Uh, the husband is at the door, but she opens and she pauses because she's like, well, I've already gotten myself ready for bed or ready for to settle in for the evening. So she kind of pauses, hesitates, opens the door. He's gone. She looks out. She goes, chases after him, ends up running into guards who beat her up, and then cries out to her friends to find uh, her bridegroom, her beloved, and tell her that I'm lovesick, not that I'm beaten and laying in the street. And the daughters of Jerusalem, their response to that is, you know, who is he more than other ones? Like, who is your God that's more than other gods? Right? What's that to us? And um, she describes a very stunning and striking character. Y'all thought I was going to say stunning and brave, didn't you? No, stunning and striking character. Very much somebody who sounds attractive and steadfast, and uh, the type of betrothed any woman would want. Right? That's it. Let me describe my God to you, right? And she's very, very complimentary on that. I'd like to be interested. The daughters of Jerusalem, though, who are they supposed to be? That's kind of confusing. And what is the dream supposed to have to do with ignoring God when he does come calling? And what disaster can happen when you pause? That you need to answer him? But when you're disobedient, there are consequences. Let's see if there's a game. Let's see. I put in 4, not 5. Let me fix that. Excuse me. Yeah, lover King Solomon commences the chapter by rejoicing in their shared love, indulging in the garden, which symbolically represents his beloved. The verse reveals the profound union and mutual satisfaction of the lovers. Yeah, I think we saw that. The beloved experiences a dream where her lover knocks on the door late at night, seeking entry. However, she hesitates, providing excuses before eventually deciding to open the door. Finds her lover gone, though. Overcome with regret, she ventures in the city, but instead encounters the city guards who mistreat her. She asks for the daughter. Um, Teaching points. There we go. Pain of separation. I mean, what this is kind of describing what I was getting out of this. Dreamlike sequence. Bride searches for her beloved. I slept, but my heart was awake. Sound. It's the describing the pain of separation. Then following that, the pursuit of love, her search despite facing challenges, underscores the perseverance required in love. The watchmen found me as they made their rounds in the city. They beat me and they bruised me. Yeah. Okay. Going into that more really could talk to you when you pursue a relationship with God, when you have faith and you are trying to, following God Christ's footsteps. Do seek God, whatever it is you want, however you want to describe it, but your walk with Christ, right? Your life. There are going to be obstacles in there, and some of them are going to be more personal. Some of them might be physical on your person. It's not going to be it's not going to be easy. Is it worth doing for you? And I think that's what she says. But even after all that, I goes, tell him I'm lovesick, right? She's beat up in the street. I'm lovesick. All right, that's encouraging to me to know that I think I'm on the right path on this. That's a good little chapter right there. All right, now moving on to 6. I am my beloved's. The daughters of Jerusalem say, where has your beloved gone, O fairest among women? Where has your beloved turned aside, that we may seek him with you? The bride responds, the Shulamite, my beloved has gone to his garden, to the beds of spices, to feed his flock in the gardens, and to gather lilies. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. He feeds his flock among the lilies. Praise of the Shulamite's beauty, the beloved, the groom. Oh, my love, you are as beautiful as Tirzah, lovely as Jerusalem, awesome as an army with banners. Turn your eyes away from me, for they have overcome me. Your hair is like a flock of goats going down from Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of sheep which have come up from the washing. everyone bears twins, and none is barren among them. Like a piece of pomegranate are your temples behind your veil. We've heard this part really is a repeat of chapter 2, I think. There are 60 queens and 80 concubines and virgins without number. My dove, my perfect one, is the only one of her mother, the favorite of the one who bore her. The daughters saw her and called her blessed, the queens and concubines, and they praised her. Who is she who looks forth as the morning, fair as the moon, clear as the sun, awesome as an army with banners? Bed. And then the Shulamite, the bride, said, I went down to the garden of nuts to see the verdure of the valley. Verdure. Verdure? I don't know that name or that word. To see where the vine had budded and the pomegranates had bloomed. Before I was even aware, your soul had made me as the chariots of my noble people. The beloved and his friends, return, return, O Shulamite, return, that we may look upon you. And the bride says, what would you see in the Shulamite, as it were, the dance of the two camps? So this is a continuation, right? So she talks about how wonderful, great, and wonderful her God is. And you know what? We're gonna finish. We'll finish this tonight because I think this is gonna go through, and that'll be good. We can pick up after a long week off. We'll pick up in Isaiah. So we'll go ahead and finish this tonight. Let me edit 5 to 8. Save changes. I can't. Well, I'm not trying to change the start time. Man, SteamYards, why are you so dumb? I'll fix it on the back end. Anyway, where were we at? Oh, so they were, she had finished talking about how wonderful her husband, her betrothed, her beloved, or whatever is, and they come back, and where did he go? Where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did he come from? Cotton Eye Joe. And then Shulamite said he'd gone back to his garden, to the bed of spices. He'd gone home, feed his flock and the gardeners, whatever. Meanwhile, the beloved is talking about how great his bride is. And while there are 60 queens and 80 concubines and virgins without number, there's only one of her. And everybody knows it. Who is she who looks forth as the morning, fair as the moon, clear as the sun, awesome as an army with banners? I still don't understand some of the imagery that he puts in here. And then the Shulamite, she goes looking for him. It sounds like. And they beckon to him. Her beloved beckons to him. I don't get this last part though. The dance. What would you see in the Shulamite that, as it were, the dance of the two camps? Let's go into Song of Solomon 7, and expressions of praise. How beautiful are your feet in sandals, O prince's daughter! The curves of your thighs are like jewels. The work of the hands of a skillful workman. Your navel is a rounded goblet. It lacks no blended beverage. Your waist is a heap of wheat set about with lilies. Your two breasts are like two fawns, twins of a gazelle. Your neck is like an ivory tower. Your eyes like pools in Heshbon by the gate of Bath Rabin. Your nose is like the tower of Lebanon. which looks towards Damascus. Your head crowns you like Mount Caramel. Like, I'm sorry, Caramel. Your head crowns you like Mount Carmel, and the hair of your head is like purple. A king is held captive by your tresses. How fair and how pleasant you are, O love, with your delights. This statue of yours is like a palm tree, and your breasts like its clusters. I said, I will go up to the palm tree and I will take hold of its branches. Let now your breasts be like clusters of the vine, the fragrance of your breath like apples, and the roof of your mouth like the best wine. Getting a little steamy. Very very descriptive, very flattering for the most part. Um, what was it? The nose is like the Tower of Lebanon. Are you saying you got a big, large nose? Um, the bride responds, the wine goes down smoothly for my beloved, moving gently the lips of sleepers. I am my beloved's, and his desire is toward me. Come, my beloved, let us go forth to the field. Let us lodge in the villages. Let us get up early to the vineyards. Let us see if the vine has budded, whether the grape blossoms are open, whether the grape blossoms are open, and the pomegranates are in bloom. There I will give you my love. The mandrakes give off a fragrance, and at our gates are pleasant fruits, all manner, new and old, which I have laid up for you, my beloved. No, Nernath says no, it's straight. Straight noses were an aesthetic fashion, aren't they still? Like straight this way or straight profile? Huh? 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 Or yes? Welcome, Nernath. So, all right. So lots of compliments. They seem to have worked. Hey, let's run away and be together. The bride says, right? In no uncertain terms, I think. There I will give you my love. All right, let's close it out. Right? Yeah. Let's close it out. Lovers reunited at their country home. Oh, that you were like my brother, who nursed at my mother's breasts. If I should find you outside, I would kiss you. I would not be despised. And I would lead you and bring you into the house of my mother, she who used to instruct me. I would cause you to drink of spiced wine, of the juice of my pomegranate. To the daughters of Jerusalem, she says, I'm sorry, and to the daughters of Jerusalem, the groom says, his left hand is under my head. Wait, what? Take that back. I'm wrong. The bride says his left hand is under my head and his right hand embraces me. We've read this before as well. And the groom says, I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, do not stir up nor awaken love until it pleases. What's going on, Yex? We're closing it out tonight. I gotta re-update YouTube, but we're in chapter 8 right now. We went ahead and read through. We've already read this before in chapters 1 and 2. Something similar to this. And then the chorus, relative, who is coming up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved. The bride said, I'm sorry. Yeah. The bride says, I awakened you under the apple tree. There your mother brought you forth. There she who bore you brought you forth. This really needs to be a play. Again, I can say, or it really needs to be a rock opera because I'm having difficulty keeping up with this at times. It's been mostly easy, but there are times where I'm like, wait, who's saying what to who? Uh, the Shulamite. All right, let's get back. The Shulamite to her beloved. So the princess to God. Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm. For love is as strong as death, jealousy as cruel as the grave. Its flames are flames of fire, a most vehement flame. Many waters cannot quench love, nor can the floods drown it. If a man would give for love all the wealth of his house, it would be utterly despised. All right, we'll go back up and go through some of this. All right, so in chapter 7, we kind of end it with, let me make sure I'm right. Oop. No, no. In chapter 7, we kind of leave it up with you know, a very steamy part of the song. And then 7-8 kind of fast forwards, I guess, a little bit. The lovers are reunited at their country home. Or 7 in chapter 7, we're talking about what she wants to do. When she is speaking to God about what she or to her uh betrothed, what she wants to do. And then they're reunited at their country home. And they are kind of, they said, and the Amplified says the lovers speak. So it sounds like they're together. And then there's a bit where the bride talks and then the groom talks. And then we have a chorus. They're just kind of explaining. And again, we've already gone over this where this is just very much love language. And maybe that's why we're rolling through this so fast. Who is this coming up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? I awakened you under the apple tree. There your mother brought you forth. There she who bore you brought you forth. So that's all 5. It's relative, it's the chorus, but at some point the bride starts talking, and she's the one apparently saying, I awaken you under the apple tree, there your mother brought you forth. Who is she talking to? The relative or the betrothed? Don't know. That's the hard part about that I've run into with Song of Solomon is knowing who, sometimes keeping track of who's saying what to whom. And there are times where Solomon is mentioned, but in the context of uh, the groom. But I think when we're talking about the church, we put the church in the bride's perspective. So it's kind of confusing at times, even though there are chapters where there's a very clear line drawn on who is what and how strong the emotions are from each side, right? It's very, again, God being very constant in his demeanor, in his disposition, in his awarding of blessings, or his just raining blessings and happiness and contentment. Whereas the church or the faithful, however you want to describe that, as the woman is very much all over the place emotionally, all from a all of this is stemming from feelings of love, but all sorts of maybe perhaps anxiety, um, but still steadfast support, um, feelings of worry and abandonment, but at the same time, feeling no understanding that she can trust in her husband. So it's just very interesting seeing that. And she says, "Seal me as a seal upon your heart, and seal upon your arm. For love is as strong as death. Jealousy is cruel as the grave. Its flames are flames of fire, a most vehement flame. Many waters cannot quench love, nor can the floods drown it. If a man would give for love all the wealth of his house, it would be utterly despised." And I think what he's talking about, as we should put our trust in God. Hey, what's going on, Pete? Haven't seen you around in a while, buddy. Um, and yeah, we should. And it does. And I think it also talks about, it's a good illustration of how um, about how, I don't want to say flighty, because flighty is not the right word, but how we lack the faith to be, and obedience or whatever, and understanding to be as constant in our faith to God as God is to us. Right. But that doesn't mean that we're not trying. That doesn't mean that we don't, God doesn't make us feel fulfilled. It's just that, we're imperfect, and we do have doubts, and we do have anxieties, and things that pull us away. But we are overcoming that with, um, with our faith and our feelings, and how strong our feelings are. Um, where was I saying this? And I was saying, so all the wealth of his house, or I've said, if the man would give for love all the wealth of his house, it would be utterly despised. I think what that's saying is not that he would despise giving up the wealth. I think he said he would despise the wealth. If you need me to if it would cost me everything, then I hate everything. I'll get rid of it. Get rid of it. I think that's how I'm reading that. Or perhaps this is the other possibility, because I'm reading over here on Amplified side. If a man would offer all the riches of his house for love, it would be utterly scorned and despised. Maybe if somebody offered everything to me, yes, it is. It is she long. Yes, it is her in 7. Yes. I'm uh maybe it's just like, if somebody were to offer me everything they had, I wouldn't care. It would be cheap, in comparison to what I have. I don't think, it's an interesting way to look at both of those. I'm sure there's a very correct way to read that, and not me not being a scholar on that is kind of, but I don't think it really changes anything. What we understand about this is there is incredible value, priceless, right? The feelings we have for God, God for us, really, even is these feelings and value that we put on is priceless. So the Shulamite's brothers, which apparently is the chorus, but we said that's supposed to be the brothers. So we get more players in this production, right? It's gotta be a it's gotta be a production. We have a little sister, and whoa, okay, we have a little sister, and she has no breasts. What shall we do for our sister in the day when she is spoken for? If she is a wall, we will build upon her a battlement of silver, and if she is a door, we will enclose her with boards of cedar. Okay, I guess it sounds like they're looking out for her, and they will build her up and be brothers, loving brothers. It sounds like there's a lot of commentary about breasts. Like, you can tell. You can tell Solomon, kind of a little bit of a lecher. It seems like coming off that way sometimes, with all the wives, all the concubines. Um, Kind of a boob guy. I mean, I don't think there's any getting around it because he keeps references keep coming around it. And then the bride says, I I am a wall, and my breasts are like towers. And then I became in his eyes as one who found peace. Solomon had a vineyard at Baal Hamon. He leased the vineyard to keepers. Everyone was to bring for its fruit 1,000 silver coins. And then looking to Solomon, to the bridegroom, my own vineyard is before me. You, O Solomon, may have 1,000, and those who tend its fruit 200. And the groom responds, you who dwell in the gardens, the companions listen for your voice. Let me hear it. And the bride said, make haste, my beloved, and be like a gazelle or a young stag on the mountains of spices. Very interesting. It just kind of cuts out. And I think I know we're missing something here. Let's see if I can. We'll see if we can see how it concludes, really. Yes. How many chapters in Song of Solomon are there in the Septuagint? 12. Why am I only getting 8? Flat as justice, and this is why I was led astray. 1, it's a scroll. Stop! It's why am I only getting 8? All right, need a new version. What does it mean as an amplified? Amplified's only got 8 too. Geez, I might have to go to the Catholic version. I preference personality myself. Big personality. So Pete, for those of you guys Pete and I used to go to church together. I got a lot of respect for Pete. Pete's good people. Very concerned with. So the Catholic edition, only 8. Probably they broke it down differently. Hang on. No, he used to go to church with me at the church I used to go to. How many chapters in Song of Solomon? Okay, contains 8 chapters. Why does it reference Song of Solomon? I don't know. Okay. Song of Solomon. Chapter 8. Why it was throwing me off. Let's see. U version. Nope. Let's see. Do we got a God Answers breakdown on this? There isn't a cliffhanger. The end is him asking her to call out, and she does. Oh, okay. I guess they live happily ever after. I guess that's heaven, right? I don't know. I just don't know that last chapter is really driving at an imagery, to some extent. Like I said, guys, this is a part of poetry and meaning, inner meaning, and in this case, really is a challenge for me because I don't read it very well. I don't interpret it very well. But she does seem to be looking to him and saying, um I'm ready to kind of like what you're saying, Matt. Um he's calling out to her and she responds, but also before that, she's kind of saying, I'm ready to kind of meet all the challenges that we might face with you, right? My own vineyard is before me. But yes, yeah, and Matt, we talked about this. If it's an allegory, of the church, it's a call on Jesus. Yes. Reread just 13 and 14. You who dwell in the gardens, the companions listen for your voice. Let me hear it. Make hate, and then that's the groom saying that saying to her, you who dwell in the gardens, let the companions listen for your voice. Let me hear it. And she says, make haste, my beloved, and be like a gazelle or young stag on the mountains of spices. Now, here's another question, too, because we are talking about Solomon, right? Are we talking about were we talking about calling to Christ in a prophetic way? The coming Messiah at this point. Or are we looking at this in a past that and we're looking towards Revelation? Or am I just trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, right? Which is not what I'm talking about. What I think is best is what kind of like what you said, Matt. It's just a call on Jesus. He called or an answer to Jesus. He calls and we respond, right? It's generally about seeking and desiring God in general. Yeah. Yex, guys, and I think it was I can't remember what episode it was. It was, I think it was chapter 2. Yex gave a really good kind of response on why he felt so um why he was so moved or is so moved by Song of Solomon. It has a much greater impact on him in the way and just in reading it and getting him in that better perspective to seek God, to pray, to whatever, just a better appreciation of God than me reading it does for myself. And I think that the way that he explained it was better than I was able to put into words. So if you want to go back and kind of read what he has to say, or listen to me read it, read his chats, that's pretty good. But a lot of this has to, and Nath's explanation, which is kind of just aligns with what we all have been saying here. Seeking and desiring God, just general, and we see that that includes uh, obstacles, that includes uh, doubts and worries and all these things, but at the same time, pushing through that with love and faith and trust, enough to overcome the worry and the doubt. And we see that from the bride, and we see the joy and anticipation and excitement from the groom, which would be God, or Christ. He's excited for what he for the time we're going to spend together. And I think that's, and if put that way, it makes a lot of these verses much more moving. Now, with the descriptions, that doesn't. I guess that's there. There's meaningfulness there. It just doesn't strike me as much as some of these other um, ones, like in 3 and 4. 3 and 4 were really the best. I think might have been Solomon's love expressed. Talking about how special we are to him. Right. Okay, so that's going to cut out. That's going to end our reading for Song of Solomon. We will get into. We're starting Isaiah, not next week. There's probably not going to be a stream next week at all. So the following week, I'm guessing Monday, we will start with Isaiah. Isaiah is a long book, and it is a big book, and it is a very special book. It is. Heck on it. Hang on. 60 plus, almost 70 chapters. There is a lot of prophecy. This is we are going to be reaching the big books of prophecy with Isaiah and Jeremiah. We are going to be in there for a while. I am very excited. As much as I invite you guys, it's going to be another part where please, please, if you're coming in for this, um, point out what you're seeing in these books and where you're finding foreshadowing of Christ. That said, I noticed how Stu skipped over my feminist Nazi topless brunch remark. What? That was a great conclusion. Thank you, Nico. Let me go back here and see what I missed. I don't see it, Thad. The only comment I got from you is they broke it down differently. That's the only. Yeah, that's the only comment from you in the chat. I don't skip y'all's chats. Y'all better be more grateful. Solomon should look at that topless Nazi march in France. His taste for breasts will be cured. Moving on. Yeah, well. Yeah, we are going to be moving on. We're going to be moving on to Isaiah, which I know that y'all are looking forward to it. Isaiah's going to be big. It's going to be fun. But yeah. So let's close out the tonight. Matt Felty, Dad the Man, Nernath, Nico, my boy Pete in the chat, Emmanuel Osorio, Yex. Thank you guys for coming in here. Thank you guys for joining in, offering your thoughts, and just being here, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate hearing from you guys. I appreciate hearing your opinions on this, your takes. I look forward to continuing that in Isaiah. Yeah, just y'all are great for the show. I'll never say it enough. So, but I'll say it every night. I'll say it at every episode. But thank you for everybody who is listening and not able or not wanting to join the chat. I understand. Makes sense, right? But I'm just thankful that you guys have got a place that y'all keep coming back to hear God's word discussed and read. To everybody who's catching this on replay, sorry I missed you, but thank you for watching. I hope to catch you live sometime soon. Guys and gals, I just wanted to let you know I want you guys to have a nice, peaceful, restful, productive, fun, and safe weekend and week to come and following weekend, right? Be good, and go to church, right? Care about you guys, and want to see you back when we get back to streaming soon. Everybody have a good night, and God bless.